I want to talk to you today about regret. It's probably one of the biggest killers of dreams and desires and life that anyone can experience. Regret holds all of us hostage to the past, to the decisions that we've made in the past, to the way it was when it wasn't that good and we'd like something different in the future. It keeps bringing us back, keeps returning to what was that we didn't like in the first place, and we don't know what to do with it. It's probably one of the core anchors to addiction. It just keeps looping back around, and then it changes the sense of self and self-esteem and who we are and how we are and where we are in the world. So I want to talk today about what do we do about regret? How do we put a plug in it, so to speak? How do you stop it? What can we do with it? What can be done? How do we end it? How do we kill it? You know, the the challenge always is we can't go back into the past, right? We can't undo the past. We can't go back. We have the regrets about, well, why did I say it that way? Or why did I do that? Or I wish, I wish I had said that early on when I was you know, lonely by myself, wondering why can't I find somebody to have in my life. A lot of times there was the regret of what I said, what I did, if only the whole relationship would have turned out differently if only I had whatever it was. It's like, oh my goodness, when I was thinking back in high school and the relationships that I wrecked because of regret and resentment. I'm sure none of you listening have that issue, but I certainly did. And the problem with regret, probably the biggest thing about regret and why it's so difficult to create a future and live into it, is because regret pulls us back in time. And you don't just go back in memory, you're actually going back. It's like jumping timelines. We change the brain chemistry when we go back. We change the cellular activity that goes on in the brain. We have these big grooves between the neurons, and those memories fire off and kind of go back and pull us back. When it's pleasant, it's great. It can be an energizing and inspiring experience to just sort of daydream on wonderful past successes and victories, and then go forward with that into the future when we actually design where we want to go and how we're going to get there. But the regret, when we go back in history and it reactivates all that stuff, all the anger, the frustration, the anxiety, definitely not the way that we want to rewire our brain. So what do we do? How do we stop second guessing ourselves? How do we get into that history of the if onlys and wouldas, couldas, shouldas, and then we start thinking about all the stuff that holds us back. It doesn't really hold us back now and into the future, but we can't get into the potential of the future because we're locked into the past, the power and the anchoring of regret. So today I want to go through a couple simple things that you can do to move past it, to free yourself from it so that you can actually have a future. And then stay to the end. I'll tell you a little bit about what we're going to do in a few weeks, and also make an announcement about tomorrow's video. So please come back tomorrow, because it's like the solution to stopping the regret loop. So stay tuned. Come on through today's video and then come back tomorrow. Okay. So we know that the regrets keep us locked into the past. And it keeps us locked in that cycle of kind of repeating over and over again, and prevents us from creating, designing, and moving into an exciting future. So that's its power. That's its magic and secret force that keeps the human being locked up. As a psychotherapist, it's one of the hardest things to break through with clients. It really is. Like we can have a great session, we can have lots of little breakthroughs and little tiny victories. And then something will happen during the week. Person goes out, reminder, trigger, something happens, and it's like it just reels them back in, pulls them right back into that old life, and it's like, come on back, come on back. And it just it oh, I know I know you know what it is. And we think that's behind me. I've left that. Except there it is again. Regret. If only, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Now, there are some secret blessings in regret. Because there's some people who don't have regrets. They don't. It's like I don't care, or numb, or they're sociopaths. Now, and there's certain areas in narcissistic behavior and traits of that keep people from regretting, but it also prevents them from learning. So, what are the treasures in regrets? It means a couple things. One of which is probably the most important thing is that you're a caring human being. You care. You care for yourself and about yourself. That's very important. We're going to talk in some other videos about that, and we have some where we've talked about why it's so important that you love and care for yourself. You wouldn't regret if you didn't. It means that you're awake. You're aware of the life that you're moving through. You know how many people are not? And there's a whole thing about don't be awake. Like, don't even get me going on that one. It's regrets are a way for your soul to call you into awareness and consciousness and begin to open up to the energy of the universe that's trying to make this life journey a significant learning experience for you. So if you use the regret, not to just go through all the if only stuff, but to use it as an awareness of there were alternatives had you been more conscious and more aware. And it has the potential for changing and shifting your future. So it's not all bad news, is what I'm saying. It's calling us to grow and to grow up. And when there's no regret, it means that there's no learning. Simple. Now, you don't have to wallow in all the stuff that's happened. Absolutely not. But to be aware that it affects you in a negative kind of way allows you to move forward, to begin to open your mind and develop a growth mindset that we can actually learn from and not repeat the past. Recognize it, close that chapter, move on, go forward. Set the direction you want to go and start to move out into your life. And when and if you don't, you know what's going to happen? You're going to find that there are times when it becomes more easy to betray your friendships and even yourself and your values. You lack empathy. You become numb to what other people are saying, doing, experiencing, and the ways in which you might actually make a difference. Selfishness comes up, distraction comes up. When we don't learn the lessons of having regret, it's really hard for us to move forward. And it's almost impossible to rewire the brain. So it just keeps repeating over and over again. All that stuff that you don't like and don't want in your life, tomorrow will be filled with it. If you don't learn the lessons and how to rewire the process. So, what do we do? How do we move from thoughtlessness to becoming considerate? How do we move from betrayal to having personal integrity? How do we move into a more empathetic way of being with ourselves and with each other? And probably the most important one is the desire for retribution and getting even into a place of kindness, open-heartedness, and generosity. How do we do that? We take from the regret the opportunity to rest, renew, and heal, and repair what's been going on inside. What's happening up in here? How do we restore all of that? Well, I want to suggest that there's a couple questions you can ask yourself as you become aware, rather than going back into the past and sort of trying to relive the whole thing. Move forward in your life by asking yourself these couple questions. The first one is, what is the lesson, or what are the lessons that this regret is trying to teach me? And put your analysis cap on and just analyze and look at it from an investigative point of view. What can I discover about myself, about other people? What can I learn from this situation? So the first one is, why is this regret coming up now? What is it trying to teach me? And then the second question is, how can I, once I've learned the lesson, how can I live in such a way that honors the lesson learned? In other words, how do I really and truly rewire this amazing organ up here in a way that I don't keep following those same old pathways, those same old behaviors, and the same old thought trail? How do I literally rewire my brain? We're going to talk a little bit about the beginning steps of that in tomorrow's video. So stay tuned. Follow the next one after this. And then I'm going to put a class together. It'll be sort of a mini version of all the things we've been talking about to help begin that process of brain rewiring. So you stop just repeating the past and you really create a new life for yourself, where your thinking, your brain, your processing, the thoughts, everything shift and change that support an exciting new life by design. It feels like you're living your dreams. Thank you for sharing part of your day with me. I hope that you're beginning to get excited about some of these things that we're talking about and making some of the applications in your life. If you're struggling with it a little bit, comment below and we'll get you the answer and kind of get you back into the process. I so like this growing community. It's so exciting. I'm from the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful that you're spending some time learning what's the practical way of applying just basic psychological truths to our daily living, and then moving into a life that you're proud of, that you enjoy having, that you wake up in the morning with a sense of excitement and thrill, and there's a gladness that you're here, that I'm here, that we're alive. That's when I wake up in the morning, I'm so excited about what can we share, what can we do next. So I thank you, thank you, thank you. And the questions that people have been asking me is sort of prompting this and sort of guiding a little bit the direction of our discussion. So keep all of that coming. Thank you so much. Namaste.